If you are anticipating or experiencing a major life transition, particularly around the financial side of the equation in your life, today's episode's for you. I'm Chad Smith here with Allison Berger from Financial Symmetry, and today we're diving into some coursework that Allison went through, the Certified Financial Transitionist coursework, and she's going to explain the two sides of money and also some phases that you walk through when you're dealing with this decision making. But before we jump in, you can check out financialsymmetry.com. We actually have a playbook, a guidebook to market volatility with 7 tips to prepare your portfolio for the market volatility that many are experiencing now and maybe going through a transition of retirement here soon, right? So check that out there. It's a free resource you can download and very helpful. Allison, so talk a little bit about that two sides of money and maybe an example there of the retirement idea.
Sure. So I just completed the Certified Financial Transitionist coursework. And really what this acknowledges is that there's two sides of money, the technical and the personal. And the technical is where we as financial advisors have spent the majority of our training and our time working with clients on tax planning, investments, estate planning, cash flow. And then there's also the personal side of money. So detailing through your relationships, your emotions about money, your hopes and dreams, self-esteem, and sense of well-being. And we want to acknowledge both of these are equally complex and equally important, but it's really the personal side that drives our decision making. And our emotional side always has veto power, even if we have a great technical plan that's going to look good over the long term. So as we're going through these major life transitions, it can be even a little bit more challenging because we're faced with a lot of decisions and choices all at once that can have long-lasting ramifications, and we might not be able to change them. So we might end up with some regrets if we move too quickly through the process or jump to conclusions before we've really explored the issues. As we're going through major life transitions, there are 4 stages of transition as we move from what was to what will be. The first of those, and it isn't always present, is anticipation. So that would be the stage where you know something is going to happen. Maybe you're anticipating your retirement, or a family member is ill and you're likely going to be receiving an inheritance. Maybe you're anticipating your business sale. And each stage really has its own unique characteristics, challenges, and possibilities. In that anticipation phase, sometimes future spending can be a problem, even before you might even know the amount that you'll be receiving. So it can be important to manage your expectations and the expectations of others. May even be necessary to craft a statement so you have a response at the ready when someone asks for something of your resources. And then as we move through ending, really the defining characteristic here is that the event has happened and there's no going back to the way that life was before. Typically, this is the phase where a lot needs to happen. There could be a lot of paperwork, new responsibilities that you're taking on. You're presented with a lot of decisions that once they're made can change the course of your life. So this can feel very overwhelming. And really one of the tools that we want to look at here is, we call it the decision-free zone. So looking at taking an intentional time out from making non-essential decisions. We want to think about what can we do to move from that feeling of overwhelm to bring some calm and order into your life as you go forward. And as financial advisors, what can we take off your plate in that phase to help you move forward? As you move along into passage, this is really a period that can take a long time in that transition journey. Could take several years and be a period of trial and error where you're testing new ways forward. A feeling of a loss of identity can be pretty common through this phase, as well as some transition fatigue where you might feel tired of dealing with this transition after many years. So it's important to recognize that those feelings are very normal and common in people that go through these major life transitions. One of the tools we can use as advisors is what if planning to help you look at different scenarios and paths forward, look at those alternatives and discuss the trade-offs, because you are presented with a lot of possibilities here about how things can change going forward. And maybe there's some opportunity to improve your situation over the long term.
Great points there. So understand when that personal side is having veto power, and if you don't, it's good to take a look at the scenario planning, what if planning, and then to have a decision-free zone there. I like all those three things that you mentioned. So if you're going through a transition now, please reach out to us. We could direct you, give you resources, help you through it, and just give you some questions that you can ask as you're thinking through the decision. And you can find many other resources, financialsymmetry.com. We have over 100 videos here on YouTube. And then if you're just looking at our website, we have many podcasts, over 160 podcasts you can check out on different financial topics. And we'll join you again in 2 weeks. Thanks for being with us today.